oh so important to Peshawar Zalmi in order to kind of create their own destiny and make their way through to the playoffs. They did it in style in the City of Saints, Multan, against their Sultans today. They had absolutely no answers for Peshawar Zalmi, Baba and his men. Embracing the captain Mohammed Rizwan there. Friends now, but they were certainly foes on the field, and it was Zalmi that came out on top with an emphatic victory. After bowling them out for only 108, there was not much that the Zalmi could do other than to race through those runs at the back end. Taking a little look at the story of the game, how things went about. Well, Multan, they elected to bat first, and it ended up being a bit of a diabolical choice, only posting 108, getting bowled out in the 20th over. Shea Hope, the main resistance there, with 23 off 21. Tayaba 22. Not much else to speak of in terms of batting, but it was the bowling from Peshawar Zalmi that sealed the deal. 3 for Danielle, 2 for Wood, and in reply, Peshawar Zalmi chased it down with ease. 110 for 3 in just the 13th over. Points table now. We said Zalmi needed to win to keep those playoffs hopes alive. That's exactly what they've done, and they emphatically repaired that negative net run rate, almost breaking even now. And sitting in 5th on 8 points, but still 2 games in hand for them to get the job done and make it into the top 4. Pleasure to have your company back with us in the pitchside studio, unpacking all of the action we have just seen here in the Multan Cricket Stadium. Speaking about how good they were with the ball from Peshawar Zalmi, we've got Luke Wood, spearhead with the new ball, in the studio with us, and of course Dominic Corker, a former pacer himself, alongside. Luke, thank you so much for your time. Great bowling performance by all of you today. You have to have been pleased with that as a unit. Yeah, I think not just today, but we've been pretty good with the ball throughout the whole competition, I think. Sort of me and Alzari with the new ball, and then whether it's been through the middle with Seymour spin, and at the end we've took a lot of wickets, which plays a big part. But no, I think today just kind of shows what we've been doing the whole tournament. The plans obviously early on are to take wickets. We watched you, and I watched you a lot. You're looking to attack the wickets, attack the stumps straight away. And these wickets, have you been surprised how much the ball has done? Yeah, I think the only thing back to last year, every ground seemed pretty flat and pretty placid and didn't actually offer a lot, whereas I think it was only Multan here last year that did something, whereas this year I found they've been a little bit varied, like some have been quite slow, but some have actually gone through, but the ball has actually moved quite a bit, which for me, coming here is pretty unheard of. So, but no, it's been nice for obviously being a bowler, and with what I try and do with the new ball, the fact it's moved has really helped. And considering that you didn't play the first 2 games, now you're an absolute fixture in every single one of the playing 11 so far. What are you enjoying about the Pakistan wickets this particular time around, and what potentially suits your game so well? I feel like just because I'm quite short and skiddy, they suit me quite well, just because it doesn't really bounce. So it's probably onto people a bit quicker than they might expect, and especially with that swing and movement we've had so far, it just aids me in doing what I do best. And then also, because the wickets aren't, I don't think actually they've been particularly abrasive, so the ball's not scuffing up as much, so it's swinging for longer, which, like I bowled, think 3 in the power play the majority of the games I've played. So it kind of shows maybe what the surface and the rest of it. And as a bowling unit, it's a nice mix. Obviously, you with your left arm, you've got Alzari Joseph, the young Ali Raza, who we spoke to Glenn Chappell about. There's a nice mix of senior players and younger players. Yeah, no, I think even if you look through lads who've just come in, Danielle, come in the last 2 games, he's made a big impact. Hussain Talat's not been needed with the ball, and then Mohammed Ali last game, obviously it's unfortunate to miss out today, but everyone's kind of contributed, and the depth we've got, especially in bowling, whether it's on or off the field, has been great. Yeah, you've certainly been exceptional as a bowling unit, and you've kind of come into your fore as the season's progressed. We know it's really difficult when you get a brand new bunch of guys. You're expected to try and gel and figure out what your positions are, even within the playing 11, should you get there. Just how hard and chaotic is it at the beginning of any franchise season? Yeah, I think it's always figuring out the best combination. We've chopped and changed a little bit with different batters, different bowlers, and I feel like now we've got a pretty good balance, depth batting wise. Guys have started to come maybe back into form a bit more with the bat, so I feel like that's good for us progressing. And then bowling wise, like I said, we've been good throughout. I think it's just roles, different roles and what people take.
But yeah, from the last few games especially, I think we've been pretty good.
And now that win just gets you closer to the Qalandars and Karachi to get in that top 4. What is the chat in there? Because obviously your final game's against the Qalandars, so it might be whoever wins goes through to the playoffs. But what is the chat? What's Baba? What's Mushtaq saying? Because we had Mushtaq here. Oh, well, we had him in Lahore, and he was saying a lot of things, as Mushtaq does. What are you saying in there, or the coach is saying?
I think it's just, we know we have to win. We said we probably have to win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3. We know that, and we know we came short on a couple of occasions which we probably should have won. But no, I think we know that the 2 big games for us realistically were Karachi and Lahore. They're the 2 that are above us. So whether you treat them like a quarter-final in a sense or a semi-final, the chat's very positive. Even if when we've gone through sort of bad spells, it's been a case of like look forward to the next game and don't get too ahead of ourselves. But no, the chat from Baba, Mushy, Mo, everyone's been very positive, so yeah.
So only one change in the side, kind of feeling like Zalmi are finally settling on that playing 11. Just how difficult is it as an overseas to even break your way into a side? You know, you've got the likes of TKC sitting on the sidelines. We know how good he can be. Max Bryatt's barely played a game. He comes in today and makes an impact. How do you stay fit and ready and mentally ready to attack a game in a franchise cricket tournament when, you know, you're not even really sure of whether or not you're even going to get a start?
I just think it's a case of you have to commit in your head to playing, even if you sort of know you're not. Because it can be quite easy to get into like a sluggish mindset of you kind of drift along, and then when your chance does come, you're not ready. So yeah, and we've seen a lot of the different teams like shifting personnel, especially when things don't go very well. So yeah, I think it's just keeping an optimistic mindset and when you're training for a purpose. But when it comes to the game, like you never know, someone can roll their ankle and you're in. So you just have to be mentally prepared. That's all.
Yeah, and obviously came in as a replacement. Well, not as a replacement, but you were only going to do the first bit. Now you looks like you're all the way through. Yeah. In some ways that's good for you because you want to play in the big tournaments. The Pakistan Super League is a massive tournament, so you're here to stay, try and get him in the finals. Yeah,
it's been a bit of a weird sort of dynamic. Obviously just coming for the first 5 and then I'm staying. And but no, like I said, I came wanting to come the whole time. Like I played the whole one last year and it was great tournament to be a part of, and we did pretty well. So I love playing for this group. They're a great bunch of lads, and I think this year we've got a really good team. So no, it's nice to be involved the whole time and hopefully take us to the finals.
Pakistan's known for its out-and-out pacers. There's certainly been some incredible ones right throughout. You know, were like the likes of Wasim Akram and Waqar Yunus guys that you looked up to at all in terms of your bowling as a youngster coming through?
Yeah, Wasim's the obvious one. I've watched him a lot. I've been looking to speak to him quite a few times. He's been down at Lancs back home, or whether it's over here or wherever. So, no, as one of my idols, pretty obviously, it's been pretty cool.
How about Goffey as a Yorkshireman?
I've not seen Goffey in a while, but no, I do like Goffey. He's only because he's short.
I hope he's not watching. You know, if you're saying he's 6 foot, he's never been 6 foot, Goffey.
You've got to work harder if you're slightly on the shorter side as a fast bowler, would you say? Is that it's been a positive as well as a detriment?
I don't think it is. I think it can help you, can't it? To you know, swing it underneath, but also the possibility of just shocking people with that shorter ball.
I think it's just naturally different. I think it's like probably not too dissimilar to the blokes who are like Jameson, who's obscenely tall.
Yeah.
It's
sorry, Joseph.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, not that I'm obscenely short, but no, it's I think it's just
that's it.
If you want to say that.
Yeah.
I just think it has its own advantages, like someone who's tall does. I find over here it does probably help to my advantage.
And are you a bit of a cricket nuffy? Do you keep an eye on everything that's going on around you in terms of the upcoming talent? And if so, anyone from Pakistan caught your eye recently?
Only because I've seen a lot of him bowl. Like obviously spoke about him earlier, Ali Raza. Just for how young he is, it's like so impressive. The pace and almost the control and the balls he has and can bowl, and he gets good players out, and Baba trusts him at key times. So for me, looking at I think he's 17, 17-year-old lad. I think back to when I was 17, it's not like chalk and cheese. So no, I'm very impressed by him.
Oh, impressive yourself as well again this evening. 2 for 18 off your 3. Imagine if you got a few more balls, but you didn't need to because you guys got the job done really comprehensively today. Luke Wood, thank you so much for your time here in the pitchside studio.
Thank you very much.
Go and enjoy.
Yeah, good luck.
Awesome win. Off to a very short break here, but do stick with us. We've got plenty more coming on the other side.